They don't stumble onto homes, they hunt them. In 2024 alone, over 1.2 million American households were hit by coordinated theft during blackouts, disasters, or civil unrest. That's one home every 26 seconds. And no, this isn't just big cities anymore. Suburbs, gated communities, rural backroads. No one is off limits. They've got spreadsheets, maps, public court records, your Zillow listing, your TikToks, even your Amazon deliveries. This isn't burglary. It's a data-driven raid, and you've already been profiled. So ask yourself, how many boxes have you already checked without knowing it? Because looters aren't guessing, they're selecting, and chances are they've already selected you. 10. They target zip codes. With a reputation, even if it's old news. You might think your neighborhood is safe because the last major crime wave was a decade ago, but looters don't care. They don't track today's crime statistics. They feed off perception. One viral TikTok showing a porch pirate in your area, or a sensationalized headline from 2015 is enough to mark your zip code. And here's the worst part. Even outdated crime maps from Reddit forums, Zillow reviews, or local Facebook groups can paint a bullseye on your block. Looters comb these forums like scavengers. They study maps that aren't even accurate anymore but are still floating around the web like digital landmines. Take South Los Angeles, for example. While some parts have been gentrified for years, crime perception remains sky high, so looters assume it's still a free-for-all. Even more shocking, some looting gangs reportedly use software not that different from real estate tools, like heat maps of evictions, delinquent mortgages, and bankruptcy filings, to predict areas of stress. That's right. The same tools that mortgage lenders use to reject you for a loan are being used by looters to decide which block to hit. And when a natural disaster or blackout hits, they pull up those same zip code lists and hit the streets like they've rehearsed it. So don't think it's just about where you live now. It's also about what your neighborhood used to be known for and what the internet still says it is. Looters don't need reality. They need a good enough story to justify their smash and grab. And in 2025 America, digital dirt on your neighborhood travels faster than the truth ever could. 9. Looters zero in on homes without male presence. Yes, really. It might sound brutal, even medieval. But this is cold-blooded math for looters. Homes without a male presence, especially no adult males seen during the day, rank high on their hit list. And no, it's not just about gender. It's about what looters think they can get away with. According to 2023 FBI data, over 70% of residential break-ins occur when women or children are alone. Think about that. These guys profile your home like predators, watching for patterns. A woman leaving for school drop-off. At 8 a.m., kids gone by 8:30, blinds drawn, no movement until 4 p.m. That's a 6-hour window they believe you won't fight back in. And thanks to Ring cameras and social media, they're watching too. Public Instagram posts of "just us girls tonight" or "hubby on a business trip" are practically green lights. One looter from Chicago even admitted during a post-arrest interview that their crew had an internal term for it: soft windows. That's what they call homes with no visible male presence. And it's not just in the big cities either. Rural towns aren't safe. In places like Kentucky or Idaho, where neighbors might be miles apart, a mom with 3 kids is seen as isolated, not protected. Even more disturbing? They'll check your trash. No men's shaving razors, no protein tubs, no large work boots on the porch. That's a data point. They're not guessing. They're calculating. America, if you think you're not being watched because you live in the suburbs or post inspirational quotes on Facebook, you're dead wrong. They're not just robbing homes. They're profiling people. 8. They use delivery services to scout your house, and you let them in. You're not going to like this one. That friendly delivery guy who dropped off your Amazon package last week, he might have been the eyes for a looting crew. And I don't mean hypothetically, I mean actively. In 2024, there were over 26,000 cases of package theft rings in the U.S., linked to coordinated looting operations. You think these guys just stumble upon a random house? No, they use delivery drivers, some paid, some coerced, and some just part of the crew, to scope out layouts, door types, cameras, dog sounds, and most importantly, patterns. And this gets worse. They're often not even actual Amazon or DoorDash employees. They pose as gig workers. In cities like Atlanta and Dallas, there have been documented cases where looters used fake uniforms, dummy delivery bags, and even phony QR code scanners to walk right up to homes and case them without suspicion. They tap on your Ring doorbell, smile at the camera, pretend to scan a package, and now they know exactly where your security camera faces, which side of the house has no sensors, and whether or not you bothered to lock the side gate. And the worst part? You don't just allow it. You thank them. You tip. You wave. You even post online about how awesome your delivery guy was. Meanwhile, your house is being logged like a spreadsheet. Location, risk, opportunity. This is America's new normal. You don't have to invite the wolf in anymore. You already gave him your gate code, your front-facing camera angle, and your schedule, wrapped in a thank you card with a $5 Venmo tip. 7. Suburbs with too much trust. Are gold mines. They know you leave everything unlocked. It's the ugly truth no one wants to admit. The more safe your neighborhood feels, the more vulnerable you really are. In the American suburbs, people still leave their garage doors cracked open. They let packages sit on porches for days. Some folks still don't lock their cars because, hey, nothing ever happens here, right? That's music to a looter's ears. Suburban sprawl is a looting paradise because you've created the illusion of security without actually having any. According to a 2024 security audit by the National Home Defense Council, 42% of suburban homeowners still don't arm their security systems daily, and over 60% don't have cameras pointed towards side and back entries. Why? Because they think looters won't drive 45 minutes out of a city to hit cul-de-sacs and McMansion lanes. But guess what? They do. And they bring maps. They bring plans. They know your street names better than you do. You think the soccer mom culture of community and trust is keeping you safe. But you've actually advertised to predators that no one here is ready for a fight. One looter in Portland called these types of communities open lockers. That's what they think of your little slice of Americana. Unlocked side gates, poorly lit backyards, decorative glass on your front door that lets anyone see inside. You've spent so much time making your home welcoming, you forgot it's supposed to keep people out. And here's the kicker. During disasters, when your power is out and your neighbor's generator is buzzing away like a dinner bell, the trust turns toxic. Because no one's calling the cops, they assume you'll handle it, but you won't. You trusted too much, and they counted on it. 6. Your political signs and flags make you a target. Yes, really, this one's going to sting. But the data doesn't lie. Whether it's a back the blue flag, a don't tread on me snake, or a rainbow love is love sign, looters are watching. Not because they're politically motivated, but because you're broadcasting what kind of person you are, and what kind of response you might have. One 2024 study of urban looting zones found that 37% of hit homes had political signage visible from the street. Why? Because signs give away whether you're more likely to have guns or more likely to comply. That Second Amendment yard banner might scream toughness to your neighbors, but to looters, it screams guns inside, and guns are valuable. On the flip side, a no hate here sign tells them the homeowner is probably more trusting, more pacifist, maybe even less likely to confront someone. It's twisted, but it's true. Your front lawn has become a psychological profile. Looters don't care about the message. They care about what it tells them about you. It's the same logic casinos use to read gamblers. How you decorate your space reveals how you think under pressure. Combine that with online voter databases. Yes, looters use those too. And now they know your political lean, your age group, and in many cases your income bracket. That's all data, all useful, all being cross-referenced with your home's address, your car model, your Amazon delivery patterns. You thought a sign was just a sign. In 2025 America, it's basically a GPS pin for opportunists. 5. They follow local power outage maps and strike while you sleep. You might think the scariest thing about a blackout is losing your fridge full of food. But looters, they see it as their green light, and they're not waiting for the lights to go out. They're watching outage maps in real time. Here's what most Americans don't know. Nearly every power company in the U.S. publishes detailed outage maps online. Some even show block-by-block updates on restoration times. And guess who's watching those updates more than you are? Organized looting crews. When Winter Storm Uri hit Texas, reports showed dozens of coordinated break-ins within hours of blackouts. And in 2024, California saw a similar pattern during the wildfire season. Looters pull up the outage maps, find the darkest, coldest neighborhoods, and move fast. No lights, no cameras, No alarms. Your house becomes a sitting duck. And here's the kicker. Even planned outages, those maintenance window notifications your utility sends, can trigger these attacks. They know you're asleep. They know your Wi-Fi's down. They know your backup battery is only good for a few hours. Combine that with police stretched thin during natural disasters, and you've got the perfect recipe for a silent invasion. The looters don't just break in. They glide in. They're like sharks in murky water. You don't even know they're there until it's too late. So yeah, next time your power goes out and you think, hey, just a storm. Remember, someone somewhere just got an alert that your defenses are down, and they're already circling. 4. They follow eviction records and foreclosure filings. It's their shopping list. This one's almost too twisted to believe, but it's true. In the United States, eviction and foreclosure records are public. Anyone with a Wi-Fi connection and 10 minutes of spare time can find out who just lost their home, who's hanging on by a thread, and which properties are officially in limbo. Looters don't just stumble into vulnerable homes. They mine county courthouse websites, Zillow foreclosure tags, and even bank-owned property auctions to find desperate areas. Because here's their logic. A house in foreclosure means fewer lights on, fewer cameras, and a homeowner who's either gone or too defeated to fight back. In 2024, over 525,000 homes faced foreclosure in America. That's more than 500,000 blinking targets. But it's not just abandoned homes they're after. It's the transition zones, the properties where the water's still on, but the mortgage hasn't been paid in months. The ones where lawn care stopped, porch lights flicker at odd hours, and mail is piling up. They know the signs, better than realtors do. And then there's eviction data. In states like Florida, Texas, and Georgia, where eviction laws are fast and unforgiving, looters will wait until tenants are forced out, then raid the unguarded shell that's left behind. Even more disturbing, there are Reddit threads, encrypted Telegram channels, and dark web marketplaces where people trade lists of upcoming evictions by zip code. One viral post last year detailed a step-by-step guide for using LexisNexis and Pacer court records to find these vulnerable homes. And this isn't fringe behavior. It's become systematized. Looting isn't random anymore. It's data-driven, algorithmic, and cold. So if your neighbor just got a notice taped to their door or your HOA newsletter mentions a recent foreclosure, understand this, the wolves already saw it too, and they're not waiting for you to catch up. 3. They target overstocked homes. Because you've been flexing online, you know all those prepping videos, Costco hauls, and my emergency pantry tour TikToks that have exploded in popularity? Yeah, looters watch those too, probably more than you do. In fact, the number of looting incidents tied to online overexposure has tripled since 2022, according to data from digital risk firm Chintel. That's not just anecdotal. That's tracked, reported, and confirmed. If you're the type of American who stocks 200 pounds of rice, has backup generators, and posts about your freeze-dried lasagna collection on Instagram with hashtags like PrepperLife or Jamacha Grid Down Ready, you're not just prepared. You're advertising. And the worst part, you don't even need to post your address, your voice, your flooring, your backyard view. These are enough for determined looters to triangulate your location. There's software, real software, used by bounty hunters and skip tracers that can find someone based on a few seconds of audio and visuals. And these guys, they've got it. They're treating your content like open source intelligence. That pantry you're so proud of. They've bookmarked it. That ammo cabinet you briefly flashed in a video, it's a shopping list now. And don't think you're safe just because your account is private. One small leak, one friend who reposts your story, one screenshot in the wrong hands, and it's out there forever. Even deleted posts get scraped into AI training models and data archives. So while you're showing off your dehydrated blueberries and 100 gallons of diesel, there's someone out there making notes, not because you're doing something wrong, but because in America today, preparedness is a signal, and signals get tracked. In the old days, flaunting wealth meant gold watches and convertibles. In 2025, it's vacuum-sealed lentils and off-grid water filters, and looters are watching every damn frame. 2. They exploit your community's look-away culture because no one will intervene. Let's talk about something darker than any looter's crowbar: silence. In modern America, communities have been conditioned to mind their own business, to look away, to scroll past, to say, "Not my problem." And looters love that. They exploit it like a cheat code. Because while you're upstairs hearing something suspicious out front, your brain goes through the same checklist every American's been taught. Maybe it's just a delivery. Maybe someone's car alarm is glitching. Maybe it's not worth calling 911 and getting someone in trouble. That hesitation, that's the opening, and trust me, they know it. In one 2023 experiment conducted in Philadelphia, researchers staged a fake home break-in in broad daylight. Power tools, crowbars, the whole 9 yards. Dozens of people walked by. Only one called the police. One. And this wasn't a crime-ridden part of town. It was a middle-class suburb with cameras on every porch. This is the psychological rot of modern America. Fear of overreacting. No one wants to be the Karen. No one wants to call the cops for nothing. So what happens? Looters operate in broad daylight, wearing neon vests or pretending to be utility workers, and people give them a wide berth. You think someone's going to jump in when your house is being looted? Half your neighbors don't even know your name. The other half assume you're out of town. And in a post-COVID world where community events have died and trust has cratered, that isolation is deadly. Looters count on it. They thrive on it. They choose neighborhoods not just for their wealth, but for their weakness. And if yours is a place where people don't get involved, then congratulations, you're officially on the list. 1. They prioritize disaster zones with slow police response. Because you're on your own. Here's the most terrifying truth of all, and the one nobody wants to admit. When disaster hits, law enforcement doesn't show up for you. Not immediately. Not in the first hour. Not sometimes for days. And looters, they know that better than anyone. Whether it's a wildfire in California, a hurricane in Florida, or an ice storm in Texas, the moment emergency services get overwhelmed, looters move in like clockwork. In fact, FEMA's own internal 2023 report revealed that response gaps of 1272 hours are common in medium-scale disasters. That's up to 3 full days where your neighborhood might as well be the Wild West. During Hurricane Ian, one county in Florida reported over 60 break-ins within the first 36 hours, while 911 services were still prioritizing flood rescues. And they weren't random homes. They were freshly evacuated, partially damaged, and unguarded. Looters wear reflective gear. They arrive in trucks. They act like contractors. They wave at neighbors. And while you're huddled with your family in a shelter or at a motel 50 miles away, they're stripping your home to the studs. Generators, tools, batteries, copper wiring, fuel tanks, even solar panels. One crew in Louisiana went so far as to tow an entire tiny home off its foundation. Think about that. They stole a house. And don't think this only happens in the South or during big events. Power grid attacks in the Pacific Northwest have led to multiple coordinated lootings in towns no one's ever heard of. These people track storm paths, know fire evacuation zones, and follow FEMA alerts like it's a playbook. If you're in a disaster-prone area, they've already mapped your neighborhood, not because they want to help, but because they know exactly how long it'll take before the police come. And they plan to be gone long before that. You're not paranoid, you're just late. Looters don't break into homes, they break into lives. And if you've been sitting there thinking, well, that probably wouldn't happen here, you're already where they want you. That false sense of safety, that's how they get in. Not through the door, but through your blind spots. The maps are real, the tracking is real, the targeting is absolutely real. And the most terrifying part? Half the signs that got you flagged, you put them there yourself. The flags, the hashtags, the packages, the habits, the silence. This isn't about fear. This is about reality. And in 2025 America, reality means knowing you're being watched. Not by Big Brother, but by desperate, organized, ruthless people with nothing to lose and everything to gain by taking from you. So ask yourself, right now, what does your home tell a looter? Because you've been listed, categorized, ranked. The only question left is when.